Good morning. I'm out here taking a walk on my land, and my family and I moved from a fairly large metropolitan area, Phoenix, Arizona. 7, 8 months ago, to come out and try some country living. We're living out here in the middle of, as they say, God's country, here in the middle of America. And we love it, but it's presented some unique challenges. And one of those being, from a business perspective, starting over. And starting over can be, from my experience, can be one of the best things that can happen to you. It can also be one of the biggest points of frustration. And you can also lose yourself a little bit. You can get into patterns, new patterns, and those patterns could be destructive. You could also fall into new patterns where you reinvent yourself, because you're in a new place, and no one knows you. And so, which gives you, honestly, from my perspective, it gives you a unique or kind of a distinct advantage, if you use it well. But in those transitions, a lot of times, things don't go exactly to plan. For instance, just to share a little bit of my story, before we moved out, we were fortunate enough to come out and buy a home and buy some acreage and all those sorts of things. And I thought when I came out that our financial stability was going to be there. And it, any time in business, if you've been in business, you realize that isn't always the case, and sometimes that is fleeting. Well, that's exactly what happened. We purchased the house. The opportunity that I was in at the time was doing great, and everything looked great. I mean, everything looked like it was working well. And then shortly after we purchased the home, the bottom fell out. And what I mean by that specifically is just that the opportunity dried up. There was no, it was gone. And so, and then on top of that, what was promised to me was not actually the case in terms of total compensation. And I'm not complaining here at all. And it wasn't, it wasn't anyone's fault, but it was a point of frustration, and it was a point of starting over, and it's like, well, wow, we just made this big investment to uproot our family, buy this home, and then this stuff happened with this opportunity. And so, long story short, I find myself having to reinvent myself, having to go that extra mile or two to discover opportunities in this new environment, and create new patterns, new habits, and all those sorts of things. And I can tell you, if you're going through that right now, accept the process. What I mean by that is, don't fight it. Because generally what's happening is, at least from my limited experience in life, is that you're being trained up for the next thing. And I know that sounds very, it can sound very Pollyannic, especially for those of you that are out there, in business, and maybe you were coming off one success and now, you find yourself from the top of the mountain now down in the valley, or maybe you've gone from valley to valley. to use that as a metaphor. And that's a real thing. And it's tough. And it's super, especially when you change environments, because you don't have the normal support structure, whether it be people or the proximity to things that that you are used to. But I can tell you that if you stay the course and you do the thing, you keep doing the thing that you should be focusing on, whatever that may be, right? You're going to see your way through it. And also too, if you're in that state, just go to work. I know that's really simplistic, but just go to work. Take the actionable next step, even if it's scary, you don't know what's going on, because I can just speak from my experience that when you do take a next step, even if it's not the best next step, but it's a next step, it's progression, it's moving forward. It always amazes me how much it dissipates anxiety, how much it removes fear. And it's amazing that once you start taking a step to do something, to create or to, make that phone call, send that email, go on that sales appointment, talk to your, that family member that you've been putting off, whatever it may be, it's just amazing how anxiety gets reduced drastically, and that fear starts to leave. So, long story short, I didn't want to make this video too long, but basically, if you find yourself starting over, which can take many forms, just allow the process to happen. And just be at work and do all the things that you should be doing. Positive mindset, right? It always starts with the fundamentals, It's, and it's funny, you never, those fundamentals are there because they really do work. But stay the course. Stay positive. Chunk your work up into little bite-sized pieces. Surround yourself with good people. And also to just have a clear vision, right? None of what's being shared here is groundbreaking. None of what I'm sharing here is earth-shattering knowledge, but somebody may need to hear it. Because I definitely do, all the time, right? I always kind of joke, I haven't reached that state of Zen, and I don't know that it exists. It could, but I don't know. So that being said, I'll see you on the next video.